Meredith?
A telegram for Frank Morgan. Telegram for Frank Morgan.
I'll take it away. He's not here.
Oh, yes, I am. I'm right here, Bob Young, and don't let me catch you interfering with the United States mails. Just give me the wire, son.
Oh, here you are, Senator.
Senator? My campaign's bearing fruit. Here's $1 for yourself, son.
Thank you. The wire's $1.50. Collect.
$1.50. Oh, well. Here's the other $half. Good morning.
Oh. That's one thing I like about you, Frank. You're such an open-handed miser.
Yeah. A cheap jibe from an overdressed ostler.
Mm-hmm. Well, read the telegram, thief.
Let's see. Telegram, yes. Frank Morgan, you'd better stay away from the... yes. Well, my campaign seems to be going even better than I supposed.
What did the wire say, stooge?
Yes, well, we'll iron out the matter of these nicknames later. Crumb. Right now, the wire is purely political.
Well, if it's about your campaign, why don't you let us hear it?
Well, it's none of your affair. Give me that wire.
Oh, no. I'm going to read it into the record.
Oh.
Frank Morgan, you'd better stay away from my girlfriend or I'll chop you in half. Well, that's nice campaigning, Frank.
My dear boy, no man in public life can protect himself from crank letters or mud-slinging opponents.
I see.
Yeah.
Why don't you stay away from the fellow's girl?
How can I? The man didn't sign his name. Oh, well, what's the difference? I was only getting a few votes.
Yeah, well, listen, Frank, I got a telegram myself this morning.
You did?
Yes, from the Girls' Voting League.
Oh.
They're going to boycott you at the polls.
They're going to boycott the polls? Mm-hmm. I've been stabbed. The boys can't girl-cot me.
No, take it easy. You still got one more chance with them. They want to know your stand on foreign affairs.
Foreign affairs? Yeah. Well, women of America, I salute you. I also salute your able representative, Mr. Young. Bob, look at me.
I can't.
Why not?
I know what's coming.
This is no time for levity. My senatorial seat is dangling by a thread. There goes the thread. Where was I?
Foreign affairs, Senator.
Oh, yes. Foreign affairs, yes. My boy, you see before you the greatest internationalist...
Oh, Frank,
that
Frank, are you trying to make anyone believe that you're an authority on international affairs, Mr. Morgan?
Ambassador Morgan, sir. Envoy extraordinary and minister plenipotentiary to the Principality of Polonia. Ruled for centuries by the ancient House of Maxwell. How did that get in here? Pearson's been sabotaging my script.
So, you were the ambassador to Polonia.
Yes, but I didn't remain there long. Before I'd served 2 weeks, an unfortunate incident occurred which caused my transfer to a post in the romantic swampland of Belgravia. A very coveted assignment.
Oh, sure. What was the incident that washed you up in Polonia, Frank?
A chivalrous intention on my part was misinterpreted. It was the evening when I was to be presented at court. Mm-hmm. The great hall was jammed with royalty from all the capitals of Europe. Beautiful women thronged around me, but my heart was beating only for the glamorous Countess Prinzmetal. I searched the hall for her, and almost at once, though I had never seen her, I was able to identify the Countess by the family motto carved across her coronet. Just one word, Levito. And what a beautiful woman she was.
What was the motto, Frank?
Levito. It's Latin. It means I raise.
Huh?
I raise.
I call. What have you got?
A pair of 10s.
Oh, good. Aces and 5s.
I haven't won a pot all night. Well, I waited till the right moment, then approached the Countess with a courtly bow and asked if I might have the pleasure of the next schottisch.
Uh-huh. What about the incident, Frank?
Well, I'm coming to that. Among other pretty compliments, I remarked that she looked stunning in her court gown. Countess, I whispered, you look ravishing in that dress, and the bustle is so becoming. That same night, I was transferred to Belgravia.
Why?
Well, she wasn't wearing a bustle. But Belgravia proved a fascinating country, Bob. In 2 months, I was the idol of the populace. Why, every time I visited my office in the legation building, I used to go regularly every week to get my check. When I'd come out, the crowds would cheer me in the strange Belgravian tongue. I never quite mastered the language, but their cheers were thrilling.
Well, how'd the cheers go, Frank?
Well, it was something like this. Stumpy Morgan, Stumpy Morgan, Stumpy Morgan.
That was thrilling, huh?
Well, yeah, in a threatening sort of a way.
I see what you mean. How did you manage to get around if you couldn't speak the language?
Well, my eyes are pretty expressive. I have some gifts for mimicry, and besides, I draw pretty well. Ordering food was the most difficult problem.
Oh, I suppose when you drew a glass of milk, it looked like a glass of beer.
Well, that happened occasionally, but I can't complain. I remember one time, though, I wanted to order a steak and mushrooms from a new restaurant in Belgravia. In order to make the waiter understand, I sketched a cow and some mushrooms.
How did it work?
Very well. After some delay, he brought me an umbrella and 2 tickets to a bullfight.
So you had a nice afternoon. Frank, when did you make like an ambassador?
Well, all the time. At this period, Bob, Belgravia was known as the tinderbox of Europe. International etiquette wouldn't allow me to reveal the details, but by a series of highly secretive maneuvers, I was able to avert a war between Belgravia and her traditional enemy, Solgrovia. Incidentally, I made myself a few dollars selling the exclusive inside story to the newspapers under the name of Richard Harding Davis. Oh. But when an advantageous peace treaty was finally concluded through my negotiations, the beautiful Queen of Belgravia was, how shall I say, more than grateful.
Of course.
I was acclaimed in the public square, the same square where a bronze statue of me stands today. The crowd was cheering me. I can still hear it ringing in my ears.
Funky Morgan.
Yes. The Queen stood on her balcony throwing me kisses when suddenly the masonry gave way. Instantly there was panic, but in a trice I had her in my arms and carried her to the royal physician.
Was she hurt badly?
Well, there was an ugly wound behind her shoulder, and a skin grafting operation was ordered at once. I volunteered, of course, and the surgeon grafted a 4-inch square of skin from my back to her beautiful shoulder. Well, I recovered, Bob, and so did she. I left Belgravia an invalid, but a hero. And now, whenever I think of the Queen, a tickling feeling of nostalgia comes over me.
Why is that, Frank?
Well, because every time she takes a bath, she washes my back. Oh, so long, I'll see you.
Ted, my watch says exactly 31 minutes past the hour.
Well, that means it's time for our moment of relaxation over a steaming, fragrant cup of the new Maxwell House coffee. And the time to extend a cordial invitation to everybody listening to join us.
Ted.
What, Bob?
Remember last week I was wondering if many people joined us in a cup of Maxwell House coffee in their own homes at this time?
Yes.
Well, Ted, I'm amazed at the number of people who do. They have a genuine appreciation of the friendliness that goes with a grand cup of the new Maxwell House coffee.
And they're right, Bob. Well, now, Meredith, let's have some music for our Maxwell House moment of relaxation. We now pause briefly for station identification.